Yo, what is up, guys? Joker bringing you another video for the 3.25 Settlers of Kalguur League. So, have you ever spent a bunch of money on a build and then realized you really weren't enjoying it? So, you're trying to sell it, hoping you get your money back before GGG goes ahead and makes the runes you used worth nothing. So, you lose 90% of your profit? No, just me? Okay, cool. So, what's up, guys? I just wanted to go ahead and bring attention to this post that we received last night going over the first patch of 3.25. And in my opinion, it might be a little bit too late, right? Little too late, GGG. I just want to go ahead and get this out of the way real quick. I'm not willing to have an argument about this, but there is a sentiment of a minority of players saying best league ever, blah, 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 stuff like that. If this is your favorite league, that is good. But you can't really say best league ever, best player retention league ever when if you compare this to other leagues, I went ahead and put it against Crucible and Calandra, two of the notably worst leagues we've ever had, and it is most similar in player count and player retention to them. If we go ahead and take a look against the last 8 leagues, we're coming in at fourth, almost fifth out of like the last 8 leagues, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, out of the last 8 leagues, it's like middle ground, which has been what I've been saying since week one, that it's a very mid-tier league. Is it terrible? No. Is it great? No. It's a very solid middle ground. So I want to go ahead and just like get rid of that argument of, oh, it's the highest player retention ever. Oh, it's the best league ever. I'm sorry. No, it's not. Like the player numbers show it. A lot of people are unhappy about it. But I'm moving on from that. I just wanted to go ahead and point out that, hey, if it's your favorite league, I'm happy. I'm happy you're enjoying the league, but it's not the best league ever. I'm not willing to get in an argument about it being in the best league ever because it's just simply not. All the data shows that it's not. Okay. But yeah, if we go ahead and take a look at the 3.25 patch, it's showing that we're getting a couple of things. We're getting a rework to Thaumaturgic Dust, where it is saying that it really wasn't working the way that it was supposed to. It just adds shipment value and scales up the rewards. That means that previously some people theorized that dust wasn't really doing anything. Now it's going to upscale it, right? So the change is that now it adds the shipment value and scales based on the other goods being shipped. So previously it wasn't doing that. If it got reworked to do that, makes sense that it wasn't doing that prior. Uh, this means that overall you're going to get more quantity of items, which is interesting because there also needed to be a quality and rarity buff as well, in my opinion. I feel like this is not enough on its own. I feel like there are other changes that should have been made. Um, but let's go ahead and pull this over. Prior to this, I knew there was going to be a shipping buff, so I was running a test, right? I took the amount of crops my people produced an hour, I divided it by 3, and I sent out shipments on the 30-minute boats. On average, it was like 200K, 250K per shipment. I got 54 shipments, 2 bosses appeared, and I got 7 div of value, right? I'm going to go ahead and compare those numbers directly to the new ones after the buff comes out. See if it is really a massive increase, right? Overall, in my opinion, it's not enough. There needed to be more changes than just this, but whatever. Recombinators are now going to have a higher chance of saving rare modifiers. I don't think that this is worded right. And if it is, I don't think it's a good change. Let me show you an example. Okay, so I just went to Craft of Exile real quick and I just pulled up boots as a generic example. So T1 reduced attribute requirements is a rarer modifier than T1 life, T1 resistance, T1 move speed, right? It's rarer than all of these other modifiers. So I'm hoping what this means is like better modifiers, right? Like the good modifiers have a chance of being saved. Hopefully, this doesn't take into consideration things like this, where reduced requirement of attributes would be overrolling your T1 modifiers. Like, I really hope that that's not the case. And that's just like an example on a pair of boots. You could probably find numerous examples on a ton of other items, but that was one of the easiest ones just to showcase real quick. So hopefully this doesn't mean rarer in that case. Hopefully it means like higher tier, better modifiers, right? Because there were cases when just lower tier modifiers were being saved over higher tier modifiers. Like if there was like, if you slam together 10 items that had all T3 res and all T2 res, it was almost like a 50-50 that you would get an item that had all three T3 res as opposed to any of the T2s, right? Hopefully, this means it's going to recognize that the other item has higher tier modifiers and has a better chance of grabbing those. If this literally just means that rare modifiers are going to have a higher weight when you slam them together, I don't know why this is a change. It's not a notable one if that's the case, because that really wouldn't do anything. They moved players away from the portal. That's cool. They're adding Uber boss fragments, missing fossils, and blighted scouting reports to the currency exchange. That's cool. In my opinion, they should add unique items onto the currency exchange, just because it would still hold with what they're trying to do of having players trade, because players would still have to trade for the best items in the game, which are going to be rare crafted items, right? But a lot of uniques, a lot of one-off uniques. I think I tried to find what was it? An unnatural instinct the other day, and I had a message like 7 people to get a fucking unnatural instinct. It was stupid. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on from there. Then we have general improvements. They're nerfing T17s again. In my opinion, if you're going to have to nerf T17s this much, just remove them. Or if you're not going to remove them, remove Uber Boss fragments from them. Put Uber Boss fragments tied to regular bosses. That way, there's a reason to do the bosses, because right now there's not a whole lot of reason to do things like regular Shaper, regular Elder, Searing Exarch, right? There's not really a reason, because a lot of the good drops from them were moved to their Uber variant. So there's not like a whole lot of reason to do those bosses. So yeah, go ahead and do something about this. In my opinion, if you're having to do this month's maintenance, maybe just remove them, do the maintenance off season, and implement them in a working state, right? It's been what, 2 or 3 seasons now, and they're pretty much still bad. It's bad that they are the best currency in the game. It's bad that they're overtuned. It's bad that they're not fun. T17s have a lot of work that need to be done with them. They're just not ready to be implemented into the game quite yet. Divination Scarab of Plenty adds magic packs that have 800% increased chance to drop divination cards. Instead of modifying existing packs in the area, it now has a limit of 5 from 1. I don't know what this is referencing, because if we look at a Divination Scarab of Plenty, it says up to 5 packs, I'm sorry, up to 3 packs, magic monsters have the 800%. So I'm not quite sure what this means, right? Because it says from up from 1, and it says it's modifying the mobs different. I don't I don't know what this means. I haven't played with the scarab enough to see like if this is going to be a change. I'm assuming maybe it's a buff. It says improvements and changes, so maybe it's just a change. Bestiary craft, I don't care about. The rest of this, I don't care about. All this, I don't care about. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go ahead and go over the patch notes that we're getting for 3.25. Most likely it's going to be tomorrow or Thursday because that's going to be their Thursday and their Friday, right? And it says later this week. Says it's still subject to change as well. But those are just a couple of things that I wanted to go ahead and go over for the league. What's your opinions on the patch notes? Do you think it's like enough, or do you think that it's still not enough? But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.